Test, test, test.
Okay, we'll go on here. Once they take the field, we'll go on.
I'm nervous for you right now.
Come on, guys, let's go. What's that? Yeah, they're out there. It's just a matter of Roberto takes his time a little bit.
Welcome to your Goddard Lady Rockets last district game against the Lovington Wildcats. Starting off with the Lovington Wildcats, we have Honey Morales, number 4.
Ready?
So let's go ahead and set Goddard up for you defensively since they will be in the field first. Gallegos is the pitcher. Crawford will be in the ring. Garcia, Campa, Hernandez, and Serrano around the infield first to third. Morales, Gonzalez, De La Rosa in the outfield from left to right. Now for Lovington, when they're in a big field, Sanchez in the ring. Morales, Ruiz, Corral, and Garcia infield first to third. Then Garcia, Ellis, and Castro. Well, we have a moment.
You good? Okay. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Goddard Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com, May 1st, 2025, 5 p.m. The Lady Rockets will be taking on the Lovington Lady Wildcats in a district contest. And let's go quickly right here to the Lovington Wildcats record. The Lovington Wildcats coming in this contest, 16-7 overall, 4-2 district play, ranked 3rd in the 4A classification, and 13th overall in the state of New Mexico. As for the Goddard Rockets, the Lady Rockets come in this contest 14-10 overall, 3-4 in district play, ranked 5th in the 4A classification, and then ranked 26th overall in the state of New Mexico. All right, let's go over some of the lineups here we'll start out with the visiting team, the Lovington Wildcats. The Lovington Wildcats will start out with number 4. That's going to be Honey Morales. She'll do the catching for the Lovington Wildcats. Batting second will be Sabri Sanchez. She'll do the pitching for Lovington. Batting third will be number 9, Jocelyn Holguin, playing first base. Batting fourth for the Lady Wildcats will be number 6. That's going to be Zemarie Ellis. She'll be playing center field. Batting fifth, wearing jersey number 16, is Ariana Garcia, playing third base. Batting sixth is number 23. That will be Jonna Ochoa. She will be the DP this evening. Batting seventh will be number 10, will be Malia Castro. She'll be playing right field. Batting eighth will be number 21. That will be Bailey Garcia. She will be playing left field. And finally, for the Lady Wildcats, will be number 15. Will be batting ninth. Will be Annabelle Garcia. That's going to be your starting lineups for the Lovington Wildcats and for the Lady Rockets this evening. Let's go real quick, and we'll get that taken care of for you. For the Lady Rockets, well, let's just start with their defense first of all. So the defense for the Lady Rockets, we'll go over starting lineups as far as batting is concerned here in just a moment. But for defense, for the Lady Rockets this evening, will be left to right. Starting at third base will be number 10. It will be Roxana Serrano. Number 14 will be playing shortstop. It'll be Marisol Hernandez. And then playing second base for the Lady Rockets will be Lindsay Campa. And playing first base for the Lady Rockets will be Adriana Palma Garcia. And then left to right in the outfield will be number 4, Jayla Morales, and followed by number 7 will be Kiana Gonzalez playing center field. And finally in right field will be number 2, Alexa De La Rosa. That's the starting lineup defensively for the Lady Rockets. And then, let's just go ahead and talk a little bit before the national anthem starts here. So batting first, it appears will be Lindsay Campa. Batting second will be Kiana Gonzalez. Batting third will be Marisol Hernandez. Batting fourth for the Lady Rockets will be Roxana Serrano. Batting fifth will be Juliet Gallegos. Batting sixth will be Adriana Palma Garcia. And then batting seventh will be Marisa Crawford. Batting eighth will be Alexa De La Rosa. And then finally, batting ninth will be Jayla Morales playing the left field this evening. Those are the starting lineups for the Lady Rockets and for the Lady Wildcats. We're going to pause for just a second for the playing of the national anthem. Welcome back to KSVPTV.com. Lady Rocket Softball, as the Goddard Lady Rockets will be taking on the district opponent, the Lovington Wildcats. And as we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, the Lovington Lady Wildcats coming third in the 4A classification, and the Lady Rockets coming in fifth. And so this is going to be the last home game for the Lady Rockets. As we talked about earlier, Serrano will be playing third base, followed by the shortstop Hernandez, Campa at second base, and then Palma Garcia at first base. In the outfield will be Morales, Gonzalez, and De La Rosa. The battery for the Lady Rockets will be number 9, Juliet Gallegos. She'll do the pitching this evening in the first game for the Goddard Rockets. And then, of course, number 30 will be Marissa Crawford will be doing the catching. All right, so this, as we mentioned earlier, the last game for the Lady Rockets here, as they will qualify for the New Mexico 4A State Championships next week. And we'll talk about the seating and selection committee, and then, of course, the NMA staff and the seating and selection teams for the 24-25 state championships utilizing the following criteria. We'll talk about that through the New Mexico Activity Association bylaw 7.11 as voted on by the board of directors. We'll talk about that with the finish in regular season play, head-to-head, wins against district champions, and of course overall records and the Max Preps, Freeman Rankins, and then of course the membership school input will be submitted on Sunday at 8 a.m. So all coaches that will qualify or have a chance to qualify will take on and fill out the information and send it to the New Mexico Activity Association to be voted on, and they will have a bracket this Sunday for the New Mexico 4A State Championships. All right, as we talked about earlier, number 9 is going to be Juliet Garcia will do the pitching. Stands, according to Max Prep, stands at 5 foot, classified as a sophomore. And of course, number 30 is Marissa Crawford. Stands at 5'5", classified as a junior, and there's going to be the throw down. We're just seconds away from the first pitch in this first game of a doubleheader. We will talk a little bit of statistics here, according to Max Preps, and get you going here, as the Lovington Wildcats will be the visiting team. The Lovington Wildcats, as we mentioned earlier, are 14-10 in overall record and 3-4 in district play, ranked 5th in the 4A classification, ranked 26th overall in the state of New Mexico, and excuse me, that was actually, as for the Lovington Wildcats, 16-7 overall, 4-2 in district play. All right, we're going to get organized here, and looks like we're set to go here for the first pitch. All right, so the first batter will be number 9, Jocelyn Olguin, the third baseman this evening for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. As we mentioned earlier, Gallegos will do the pitching for Goddard. Crawford will be the receiver for Goddard this evening. All right, here is the first pitch, and that will be ball upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to your hitter, number 9, Jocelyn Olguin. Jocelyn Olguin currently batting .375 on the year with 23 games played, 77 plate appearances, and 72 at-bats with 16 runs scored, 27 hits, 19 RBIs, and has approximately 6 doubles and 2 triples. The count is 2-0, and there's the pitch. That one's going to be a fly ball over to Palma Garcia, and that will be out number 1. Let's get this score in Max Preps and in Game Changer. So the batter will be out on the fly out, and that will be out number 1 for the Lady Rockets. Coming up to the plate now for the Lovington Wildcats will be, well, let's get that taken care of here. Will be Sabri Sanchez. Let's get this undone here.
And the 0-1 pitch swung on, and that'll be a slow roller out to shortstop. Hernandez handles it, comes up, fires over to first. Game time.
All right, and another ball will be to the first baseman. That'll be out number 2. So it'll be ball in play. The ball flying out to the first baseman again, and that'll be the second out for the Goddard Lady Rockets. All right, now the third hitter for the Lovington Lady Wildcats will be Jocelyn Olguin, and that one's going to be smashed over to the left side for a base hit. And the ball will be played. Morales will throw that in to the second baseman, and that will be a single for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. All right, so the fourth hitter now for the Lovington Lady Wildcats will be Zimmery Ellis. Ellis wearing jersey number 6, batting .377 on the year. There's going to be the pitch by Gallegos, and that one's going to be upstairs, and it's going to be popped up to the second baseman. And it looks like Campa will have a chance, and that will be the third out of the inning. All right, that will be it. We'll be right back. KSVPTV.com. You're listening to Goddard Lady Rockets softball. We'll be right back.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Attention Goddard Rocket fans. When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line. When victory alone isn't enough, raise your bar, keep dreaming, and go beyond the limits that you thought possible. The new 2024 Honda Ridgeline Passport and Pilot, part of the Roswell Honda Rugged Trail Sport lineup. Roswell Honda, proud supporter of all Goddard High School sports.
Welcome back to KSVP. We are here on the campus of Goddard High School. Coming up to bat for the Goddard Rockets will be Campa, Gonzalez, and Hernandez. All right, so the first hitter, let's go ahead and get this switched up here. We are on Game Changer here this evening. Number 24 will lead off. It will be Lindsey Campa. We do have statistics here according to Max Prep. So number 24, Campa, will be batting .403 on the year. Plate appearances 70, 62 at-bats with 14 runs scored and 25 hits on the year. Campa has 1 triple along with 6 doubles. All right, the pitcher for the Lovington Lady Wildcats will be number 5, be Sabri Sanchez, and of course the catcher will be Honey Morales. The first pitch will be a ball 1. The defense aside for the Lovington the Lady Rockets will be Garcia, Corral, and then of course Olguin. The next pitch is going to be a little ground ball over to third baseman Garcia, and it looks like there's going to be an error on Garcia, and Campa will get on base. All right, so that will be the error. Let's get you the second baseman here. So Ruiz, the second baseman for the Lovington Wildcats. And Ruiz got him there. All right, so it's going to be no balls and 1 strike on the foul ball back to the fence. The hitter is going to be number 7. It will be Kiana Gonzalez. There's the pitch, and the curveball will be called a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and that looked like that might have been outside a little bit, but they're going to give them credit for that. Now it's going to be 0-2 to the hitter, Kiana Gonzalez. And that one's going to be called a swing and a miss for strike number 3, and that will be the first out of this half inning. For the Goddard Lady Rockets. In the outfield for Lovington will be Garcia, Ellis, and Castro, left to right. There's going to be a little ground ball over to second base. Ruiz over to Holguin, and that will be out number 2. And it looked like Holguin was going to try to throw the ball over to Corral as Campa will advance on the fielder's choice. So nice play. But the runner will advance, and now the Goddard Lady Rockets will have Campa in scoring position. There's going to be the pitch, and that one's going to be smashed over to the right side into the hitting facility, and that will be strike 1. All right, and there's the pitch again, and that's going to be fouled back into the screen for strike number 2. So the ground ball earlier. All right, the count is 0-2. To the hitter, number 5 will be Sabri Sanchez. Sorry, that's the Roxana Serrano. Roxana Serrano, the hitter for Goddard, the third baseman this evening. There's the pitch, and that one's going to be inside, and that's going to be smashed foul to the left side. The count will remain 0-2. Let's get our scripts here taken care of, so we're good to go. 0-2 with 2 outs. The Goddard Rockets do have Campa at second base. 0-2 the count to Serrano. And another foul ball into the dugout. Getting some direction from Manzanares over from the left side. Defense for Lovington will be number 16, Garcia. Corral at shortstop, Reese at second base, and Holguin at first. That is the defense for the Lovington Wildcats. And that one's going to be a little... I thought it was going to be a base hit, but nice grab by number 10, Castro. And that's going to be the third out of this half inning. So let's get that scored into scorebook here. Batter will be out on the fly ball as Castro makes the third out. Coming up now for Goddard. Coming up for the Lovington Wildcats. We'll be right back. KSVPTV.com.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 20 professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com. When managing a chronic illness, access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more.
All right, at the end of one, the score is 0-0. No runs on no hits, 1 error, and 11 pitches. And now the Lovington Wildcats will be at the plate. Garcia, Ochoa, and Castro are the hitters. The count will be 1 ball and no strikes. All right, and here's Gallegos as she goes, and that will be inside, and it's going to be a called strike. Number 16 is the hitter, Ariana Garcia, 5th batter of 9, playing third base this evening. Do have some statistics on Ariana Garcia. There's the pitch, and that one's going to be a ground ball over to the shortstop area, and that's going to be considered an error on the shortstop, Hernandez. So the ball will be in play. And so now the Lovington Wildcats will have Garcia at first base. Coming up to the plate now will be number 23, will be Jana Ochoa, the 6th hitter. She is the DP this evening. So number 30 does have some statistics. And there's going to be a courtesy runner. It's going to be number 18. We'll get that taken care of for you here. And their stuff. We'll get that. Who is the courtesy runner?
Zoe Blackwell.
Blackwell?
Blackwell running it first.
So that's number 13, Blackwell. Okay, so it's Max Preps and the rosters are incorrect here, so I do apologize, but we'll get that taken care of. There's going to be the pitch, and that's going to be in foul territory for strike number 1. Okay, so no.
No ball, 1 strike count. To Ochoa hitting the 6th spot.
So Blackwell, the courtesy runner at first base. And there's the pitch now. That one's going to be fouled back for strike 2. All right, there's the pitch, and that one's going to be a call strike for strike number 3 and out number 1. All right, now coming up to the plate will be number 10, Malia Castro. According to Max Preps, she is the utility player classified as a junior. She is the 7th hitter playing right field. She is facing number 9, Juliet Gallegos. Lovington with the runner at first base. And that's going to be ball 1. Castro, once again, the hitter, batting from the right side. Closed stance. Defense ready for the Lady Rockets, Serrano, Hernandez, Campa, and Palma Garcia, the infield. And there's going to be a little ground ball to the shortstop area. It's going to be 6 unassisted, and the double play, and that will be out number 2 and 3 will end the inning. We'll be right back. KSVPTV.com, Lady Rocket Softball. We'll be right back.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest. Some wounds need expert care to heal properly. At Artesia General Hospital's Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center, we use advanced treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy to help chronic wounds heal faster. If you or a loved one has a wound that won't heal, call 575-736-8235 today and take the first step toward recovery.
All right, welcome back to KSVPTV.com. We are here at Lady Rocket Softball Field. We are on the campus of Goddard High School. The score is 0-0 as we begin the bottom half of the second inning. Coming up for Goddard will be Gallegos, Palma Garcia, and Crawford. All right, again, pitching for the Lovington Wildcats will be Sabri Sanchez, and number 4 is going to be Honey Morales doing the catching. There's the pitch, and that one's going to be fouled back for strike 1. All right, so number 9 is the hitter, And there's the pitch, and that's going to be upstairs for ball 1. So number 9 is Gallegos. Let's get you some statistics here on number 9, Gallegos, batting .327 on the year for the Goddard Lady Rockets. There's the pitch, and that one's going to be a curveball away for ball number 2. As we mentioned earlier, the Goddard Lady Rockets coming in this contest, overall record 14-10, 3-4 in district play, ranked 5th in the 4A classification here, facing the Lovington Wildcats. Here is Sanchez as she delivers, and that's going to be foul back, and the count will remain. We'll actually even it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to your hitter, Gallegos. All right, the pitcher set, number 5, Sanchez, as she steps back and delivers, and there's the changeup, and again, the ball will go straight to the backstop, and the count will remain even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The score here at Lady Rockets softball field will be 0-0. The defense set for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. There's the pitch, and that's going to be a called strike for strike number 3 and out number 1. So that's going to be the second strikeout this evening for the pitcher, Sanchez. Now coming up to the plate will be number 1, Paloma Garcia, the first baseman. Lovington coming in this contest 16-7 overall, 4-2 in district play, ranked 3rd in the state of New Mexico, 13th overall in the 4A classification. That will be strike 1 as it's foul to the third base side, as Paloma Garcia gets back into the box, awaits the pitch from Sanchez. Sanchez steps back, and there's the pitch, and that's going to be a called strike. So it looks like the changeup will work for the pitcher, Sanchez. 0-2 with 1 out as Sanchez prepares for the next pitch. And there's the pitch and the delivery, and that's going to be foul to the right side, and the count will remain 0-2. 1 out. The score is 0-0 here at Lady Rocket softball field. We are here on the campus of Goddard High School. The hitter is number 1, Paloma Garcia. Paloma Garcia hitting .185 on the year. And there's the pitch. And that one's going to be smashed over the right side. It could be extra bases. She rounds first base. And she decides to stay. All right, so she will get the single. On the line drive, and that was a nice hit. But you expected extra bases there, but looks like she decided to stay around first base. Coming up to bat now will be number 30, will be Marissa Crawford, the catcher this evening. All right, Crawford batting .239 on the year according to Max Preps. That's going to be a called strike. So no balls, 1 strike, 1 out, and the Goddard Lady Rockets do have a runner at first base, Paloma Garcia. And there's the pitch now, and that's going to be another called strike. So 0-2 with 1 out. Looks like the ball is 2 balls out from this area that we have here. The hitter is Crawford. There is the pitch and the changeup, and that's going to be just a bit outside. 1 ball. And 2 strikes with 1 out. The Lady Rockets with a runner at first base. That's going to be Paloma Garcia. The pitcher for Lovington will be number 5, Sanchez. Sanchez and Morales. The battery for Goddard, and that's going to be, looks like that's going to be a wild pitch, and the runner will advance. All right, so now the count will be even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and an out to Crawford. And there's question. Oh, that one's going to be smashed to the right side, but it will be foul. The count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, here's the thing. Question is in the answer here is you had a runner at first base on the wild pitch, but people are asking the question, had Paloma Garcia have rounded at first base and enter second base? And now, with the wild pitch, could end up at third. So we'll see what happens here if Crawford could help out here. And that one's going to be just outside. So the count now will be full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes the runner Palma Garcia at second base. The hitter is Crawford. As you mentioned, Crawford hitting .239 on the year. She does have 2 home runs on this current year. That one's going to be foul back, so the count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. The runner does not have to run, as she is the only runner at second base. Currently, we do have Sanchez with about 28 pitches. She has completed 1 1/3 innings pitched. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and an out. And that one's going to be ball. Oh, wow, they're going to call a strike. And that's going to get her for strike number 3 and out number 2. And that is upstairs and away. And I'm going to tell you right now, from my angle, I disagree with the call. But now coming up to the plate will be number 2. It will be Alexa De La Rosa. De La Rosa will swing and a miss for strike 1. De La Rosa hitting .312 on the year, 19 plate appearances with 16 at-bats, 6 runs scored, and 5 hits with 5 RBIs and 1 home run. There's going to be the pitch, and that's going to be a called strike. So now 0-2 with 2 outs to the hitter, De La Rosa. Palma Garcia at second base needs to get a secondary lead here in order to score here on a base wrap. We'll see what happens here. That's going to be swinging a miss. And that's going to be strike number 3 and out number 3. So at the end of 2, the Goddard Rockets, no runs on 1 hit. No errors, 21 pitches to the pitcher, Sanchez. Coming up for Lovington will be Garcia, Corral, and Morales. We'll be right back. KSVPTV.com, Lady Rocket Softball. We'll be right back.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today and let our fully licensed pest control professionals start working for you and your family. Find us fast in names and numbers. Call 623-5344, serving all of southeast New Mexico.
Central Valley Electric is continually learning and advancing technology that improves electric service, reliability, and safety, and in turn enhancing the quality of life for members that we serve in our local communities. CVE offers an account management program called Smart Hub that allows members to track their usage, set up convenient pay methods, and the ability to manage their energy use with smart technologies. A secure system such as Smart Hub is an easy tool to use. To sign up, visit cvecoop.org and click
Welcome back to KSVPTV.com, Lady Rocket Softball. So at the end of 2, there was no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 21 pitches to the pitcher, Sanchez. Now coming up for Lovington will be Garcia, Corral, and Morales. All right, so now Lovington. The hitter for Lovington will be number 21. As we mentioned, it's going to be Bailey Garcia. Bailey Garcia currently batting .170 on the year with 63 plate appearances, 53 at-bats with 9 runs, 9 hits, and 6 RBIs, 1 double, and 1 home run. And there is going to be the pitch, and that one's going to be to the left side and just foul. So 0-1 is the count to Garcia. As we mentioned earlier, the Artesia Lady Bulldogs currently with the lead in the district playoffs, 6-1, Lovington 4-2, Goddard 3-4, and Portales 0-6. We are here in the first game of a doubleheader for the Lady Rockets. There is the pitch, and that one's going to be smashed up the middle for a base hit, and Garcia will be aboard for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. And that ball was smashed up the middle, and now the Lady Wildcats will have a runner on board. Now coming up to bat for Lovington will be number 15, Annabelle Garcia. And Annabelle Garcia currently no statistics according to Max Preps, and I do apologize for that. We'll get you covered here in this first game. There's going to be the attempted bunt, and that's going to be a beauty. And the fielder's choice will go 1 or 3. And so what we have here is Gallegos will grab the ball, throw the ball over to Palma Garcia. But Garcia will advance to second base. Palma Garcia decides to try to throw to second base, but everybody is safe, and there will be 1 out for the Goddard Lady Rockets. Let's get this scored here. All right, now coming up to bat for Lovington will be number 4, Honey Morales. Honey Morales is 0 for 1 in this contest. She flew out to the first baseman in her first frame. The count is 0-1. And there's going to be the second pitch, and that's going to be foul for strike number 2. 0-2 with 1 out. Lovington with the runner at scoring position. They have Bailey Garcia at second base on a shot up the middle. Let's see if Coach Stephen McCraw will try to bunt again. I don't think he will, but there's going to be a smash up to center field, and it looks like Gonzalez will have it, and the runner will not advance, so that will be scored an out, and that will be out number 2 for the Goddard Lady Rockets. All right, coming up now will be number 5. It will be Sabri Sanchez. Sabri Sanchez 0 for 1. She also flew out to the first baseman. She is facing Gallegos. Currently, Gallegos with 20 pitches has completed 2 1/3 innings pitch, and there's going to be a dribble over to Campa. Campa over to first base, and it looks like there's going to be an error, and now Lovington will score. So they're going to call that an E3, so the error will be on Palma Garcia. So we'll get that into our system here. So let's get this on our system here, game changer. All right, so now the hitter for Lovington will be number 3, Bethany Tavara. So we'll get that all scored here in just a minute. Nothing, no counts. It's going to be no balls, no strikes, and now make it no balls and 1 strike on the foul ball with 2 outs. All right, so Jocelyn Holguin will be the hitter for Lovington. And there's the pitch, and that one's going to be upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Lady Wildcats, Lovington, New Mexico. Lovington currently in second place in the district with a record of 4-2, facing Gallegos. And there is the pitch, and that one's going to be upstairs for ball 2. Okay, now they're going to change it. It's going to be, is that correct? 1 ball, 1 strike, or we're going to go 2 balls, 1 strike? We're going to go 1 ball and 2 strikes. All right, we'll get that confirmed here in just a minute. I do have that as well. I have 3 balls and a strike. That's going to be fouled back, so I do now have the count at full. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs is what I have. And the hitter is Jocelyn Holguin, the third baseman. All right, there is the pitch, and that one's going to be upstairs, swing and a miss for strike 3. We'll be right back, KSVPTV.com. The Lady Wildcats score first, 1-0. We'll be right back.
Started.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender, loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2668.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
The ultimate.
All right, welcome back to KSVPTV.com. We are here in the bottom of the third inning. Lovington with the lead 1-0. And the hitter for the Lady Rockets will be number 4, Jayla Morales. The count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. We're back in business here. All right, and that one's going to be smashed over to the right side, and let's see if Castro will have a chance, and that's going to be foul. So the count will remain full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to the hitter, number 4, Jayla Morales. We got things taken care of here in the books now, so everything's good to go. As Sanchez set to deliver for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. That's going to be popped up to the first baseman, Holguin. She has a chance, and it's going to be a fly out for out number 1. And now coming up to bat for the Lady Rockets will be the leadoff. Number 24 will be Lindsay Campa, who is 0 for 1 in the contest. Hit a ground ball to the third baseman. Got on the air, and now it's going to be 0-1 to the hitter Campa. The pitcher is Sabri Sanchez. She pitches and delivers, and that's going to be hit to the right side. It could be a base hit, and we'll get on a single, and a nice job by Campa. So now the Goddard Lady Rockets in business. Gets on the 1-out single, and now coming up to the plate will be number 7, will be Kiana Gonzalez, the 5'4" junior. Currently playing center field here in this first game. She struck out swinging in her first frame. There's going to be the pitch, and that's going to be foul back for strike 1. 0-1 the count with 1 out. Defensively for Lovington again is Garcia, Corral, Ruiz, and Holguin left to right. And that's going to be a curveball away for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike with an out. The outfield for Lovington left to right will be Garcia, Ellis, and Castro. We'll talk a little bit about the Lovington's pitcher here in just a moment. That's going to be a changeup, and that's going to be fouled back for strike 2. All right, pitching, according to Max Preps, Sabri Sanchez currently with a 2.87 ERA, 6-3 on the year. 2-strike pitch, and now it's going to be 2 balls with 2 strikes with 1 out. As we mentioned earlier, Campa got a base hit to the right side, standing on first base, and the hitter is number 7, will be Kiana Gonzalez as she awaits the pitch, and there's the pitch, and that is going to be just outside for ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with an out to the hitter Gonzalez. We are on game changer. There's going to be the step back and the pitch, and that's going to be swing, and they're going to call that foul. So the count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Lovington Lady Wildcats in this district play. This will be the last 2 games for the Lady Rockets. And that's going to be a call strike for strike number 3. All right, so we have now 2 outs. We do have the 5th K of the ball game for Sanchez. Now coming up to the plate will be number 14, Marisol Hernandez. Marisol Hernandez playing shortstop here in this first game. The 5'3" junior awaits the pitch, and there's the pitch, and we'll drive it over to the right side. It will be a base hit, and it will be Campa around second and hit it to third, and we'll be safe. And there's going to be a throw in there. Let's see if Campa will go in, and she slides safely at home, and that's a new ball game as the Lady Rockets tie it up. So it will be a single to right field. And then Ocampa will go to third base on the last play, and then the throw-in error. Let's undo that here. We'll make the score 1-1. And that's going to be foul ball. All right, so we do have now the Lady Rockets in scoring position again as number 14, Marisol Hernandez, as at second base. The hitter is Serrano now for Goddard. It's 0-1 on the foul ball. That one's going to be hit to the left side and just foul. So that's going to be 0-2 the count with 2 outs, and the Lady Rockets get on the board now. And I'm telling you, just foul to the left side here. Now coming up will be Serrano, who is 0 for 1. There's going to be the pitch, and that one's going to be hit to the right side. And that's going to be another base hit, and that is going to be a play at the plate. And Hernandez will score safely at home. And Serrano will advance on the throw to second base, and now the Goddard Lady Rockets will take the lead. So nice job by the Lady Rockets on the RBI single. And then, of course, the advancement on the throw, and now coming up to the plate will be number 9, Juliet Gallegos. Gallegos currently 0 for 1 in this contest, and that one's going to be fouled back for strike 1. Gallegos did strike out looking. And now the count is 0-2. To the hitter, Gallegos. There's the pitch, and another foul ball to the backstop as Gallegos will continue to battle. This has about 55 pitches. She has completed 2 2/3 innings pitched at this point in time. That's going to be ball 1 as the pitch is upstairs. Serrano at second base. We'll talk a little bit here in just a moment of the 4A rankings, and then we'll also talk about the host site guidelines. That ball is going to be popped up and caught over at center field. So that ball will be in play. But that will be out number 3. So at the end of 3, the Goddard Lady Rockets scored 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error on 25 pitches for Sanchez. Coming up for Lovington will be Ellis, Garcia, and Ochoa. We'll be right back. Goddard Lady Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com. We'll be right back.
Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, and enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Welcome back, KSVPTV.com. Lady Rocket Softball. We are here in the top half of the 4th inning. And now coming out for the Lovington Lady Wildcats will be number 6, Ellis, the cleanup hitter, currently playing center field. And that's going to be number 6. That's going to be a called strike for strike 1. Ellis coming in this contest batting .377 on the year with 80 plate appearances, 69 at-bats with 14 runs scored, 26 hits, and 2 home runs. And that one's going to be a base hit. Let's make sure it's going to be roll the base hit. We'll see what it is for sure. They're calling it a line shot and will be ruled as a base hit. So Serrano does her job. As she reaches across her body, and now the Lady Wildcats will have Ellis at first base. Coming up now for Lovington will be number 16. It will be Garcia. Ariana Garcia, as they call her, Yaya Garcia, playing third base. And there's going to be the push bunt, and a good job by Palma Garcia. But the runner will advance to second base on the sack. All right, now coming up to the plate will be number 23. Will be Ochoa. 23 is Jonah Ochoa, who is currently 0 for 1 in the contest. Struck out looking earlier, and it looks like that's going to be a bleeder, but the shortstop Hernandez will have it, and that will be out number 2. All right, now coming up to the plate will be number 10. It will be Malia Castro. Castro coming in this contest batting .250 on the year. Currently has 7 hits. And she is currently 0 for 1 in this contest. So waits the pitch now from Gallegos, and that's going to be upstairs for a ball. We do have Gallegos. She grounded out into a double play in her first at bat. I'm going to say 1 ball and no strikes, and there's the pitch, and that is going to be smashed over to the right side again. And let's see if McCraw will send Ellis over to the plate, and she scores safely. So an RBI single for Gallegos, and now a new ball game. The score is now 2-2. All right, now coming up to the plate will be number 21. That will be Bailey Garcia. Bailey Garcia, who is 1 for 1 this evening. She singled on a line. The Lovington Lady Wildcats have 1 on with Castro at first base. Garcia waits the pitch from Gallegos. There is the pitch, and that's going to be upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. The count to the hitter, Garcia. 2 outs now for the Lady Rockets. Garcia, who is 1 for 1 this evening, will be a call strike. So 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. So 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. And, of course, Castro at first base. Got the RBI single. And now there's the pitch, and that's going to be upstairs. Oh, wow. They're going to call that upstairs. But it's number 3. And, all right, so middle part of the 4th inning. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. 10 pitches for Gallegos. Coming up for Goddard will be Palma Garcia, Crawford, and De La Rosa. We'll be right back. Lady Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Attention Goddard Rocket fans. When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line. When victory alone isn't enough, raise your bar, keep dreaming, and go beyond the limits that you thought possible. The new 2024 Honda Ridgeline Passport and Pilot, part of the Roswell Honda Rugged Trail Sport lineup. Roswell Honda, proud supporter of all Goddard High School sports.
All right, welcome back, KSVPTV.com. Lady Rocket Softball. The score is 2-2 as we begin the bottom half of the 4th inning. Coming up to the plate for Goddard will be Palma Garcia, who is 1 for 1 this evening. And there's going to be the pitch, and smashes that one to the left side, but will be foul for strike 1. All right, so for Palma Garcia, she did get a single on a line drive to the gap on, and that's going to be smashed over to the left side again for strike number 2. All right, so 0-2. Yeah, I'm understanding that we might be getting some feedback from the baseball field and over here as well, so I'm not real sure, so I do apologize. Doing the best we can up here. And there is going to be a pitch, and that's going to be swing and a miss for strike 3. That would be the first out now for Lovington. Now coming up to the plate for the Lady Rockets will be number 30, Marissa Crawford. Crawford hitting .239 on the year. She does have 2 home runs for the Lady Rockets. We do have some stuff printed out of here to talk about the NMA State Championships and the seating committee. We'll talk about that momentarily, and that's going to be fouled back for strike 1. So 0-1 to the hitter, Crawford. And that's going to be ball inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. The score is 2-2. We're here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. This is the first game of a doubleheader. All right, the pitch by Sanchez is going to be a curveball and just misses, and that's going to be ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. The defense ready for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. The hitter, as we mentioned, it will be Marissa Crawford. All right, and there's the pitch, and that one's going to be smashed, and it looks like will be caught by Ellis on the fly ball for out number 2. So good job by Ellis. And now coming up to the plate will be number 2, Alexa De La Rosa. De La Rosa batting .312 on the year with 5 hits on the year with 1 home run. Trying to make something happen here for the Lady Rockets as she awaits the pitch from Sanchez. Sanchez steps back and delivers, and that's going to be called strike because we want to make sure on the pause. All right, so 0-1 with 2 outs, and the hitter is De La Rosa. Open stance for De La Rosa, and there's the pitch, and that changeup is going to be hit, and there's going to be the ground ball to the shortstop. Corral over to the first baseman, so the 6-3 putout will be out number 3. Nice play by Corral, but it was a nice stretch by Holguin, and that will be out number 3. So coming up, let me rephrase that, at the end of 4, no runs on no hits, no errors, 9 pitches for Sanchez. Coming up for Lovington will be Corral, Morales, and Sanchez. We'll be right back, KSVPTV.com, Lady Rocket Softball.
Attention Roswell Coyote fans. When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line. When victory alone isn't enough, raise your bar, keep dreaming, and go beyond the limits that you thought possible. The new 2024 Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot, part of the Roswell Honda Rugged Trail Sport lineup. Roswell Honda, proud supporter of all Roswell High School sports. Attention Goddard Rocket fans! Do you love your car? Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. With special financing available, Hyundai can help regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 2 years of free oil changes. So upgrade your ride or refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd, proud supporter of Goddard.
All right, no runs, no hits, no errors with 9 pitches coming up for Lovington. As said earlier, Corral, Morales, and Sanchez. The score is 2-2 as we begin the top half of the 5th inning. Lovington at bat, and number 15 is Corral. Leslie Corral will swing, and there's going to be a high fly ball, and it could be trouble. And actually, that's going to be considered a base hit, no glove. So we'll give the base hit to Corral. And the Lady Rockets hoping that will not haunt them here in the end result. All right, now coming up to the plate for Lovington will be Honey Morales, who is 0 for 2. She flew out to the first baseman and then flew out to center field on her last 2 frames. All right, now Honey Morales getting some direction from the first base coach saying, listen, let's get the bunt down, I'm assuming. Going back, I'm broadcasting the game here, but going back to bet anything, what's going to end up happening, the Lady Rockets are going to have to be prepared for the bunt situation here. And that's going to be a strike. So 0-1 with no outs. Goddard has the corners up, preparing for the possible bunt. Defense forced up in the second baseman, playing in double play depth. Let's see what happens here. And there's going to be the attempted bunt, and there is going to be a possible error. It's going to be confirmed as an error, and that's going to be a double error. And now looks like Corral will round third and head it for home, and now the Lovington Lady Wildcats with the lead. So that's going to be an E1. Let's get this taken care of here. So the error by the pitcher is costly. And there's going to be another attempt at bunt for Sanchez, and fouls that one back. But Morales will go to second base on the last play, on the last error, and now Sabri Sanchez 0 for 2 in this contest. She flew out to the first baseman and grounded out into a fielder's choice the last 2 frames. 0-1 here to the hitter Sanchez, and now the score's 3-2. And there is going to be another attempted bunt, and they're going to say that is in play. And now Crawford over to Palma Garcia will get the out. That will be out number 1. So nice job by Crawford. And we're going to get this taken care of here, but the batter will be out. But now the Lovington Wildcats will have a runner at third base. And then now the hitter will be number 9, will be Jocelyn Holguin. Holguin, who is 1 for 2 in this contest, faces Gallegos. There's the pitch, and that's going to be upstairs for ball number 2. So Jocelyn Holguin 1 for 2, as we mentioned earlier, singled between the 5-6 hole and then struck out swinging. Now awaiting the pitch now from Gallegos. There's the pitch, and that one's going to be fouled back, and now the count is 2 balls and a strike with 1 out. All right, so the Lovington Wildcats just about 60 feet away. Morales at third base as Holguin trying to get her teammate in here to extend the lead. That's going to be upstairs for ball 3. The throw from Crawford over Serrano trying to get Morales, and doesn't. She will be safe at third base, and now the count will be 3 balls and a strike. Holguin batting from the right side. Gallegos getting some direction now from her catcher Crawford. There's going to be the pitch, swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. So that was upstairs, but I'll tell you what, Holguin thought she would be able to make contact, at least to the right side, to advance Morales, but she doesn't. The count will be now 3 balls and 2 strikes with an out. All right, there's the pitch, and that one's going to be upstairs for ball 4. And now the Lovington Lady Wildcats will have runners at the corners. Holguin at first base, Morales at third base. Now the hitter will be number 6, Ellis. And Ellis currently batting .377 on the year. She does have 2 home runs and 15 RBI, so a dangerous hitter here for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. Ellis, the cleanup hitter for the Lovington Wildcats, facing Gallegos. Gallegos currently with 43 pitches. She has pitched 4 1/3 innings up to this point. Gallegos now will take a step back and will deliver, and there's the pitch, and that one's going to be fouled back for strike 1. All right, so again, Gallegos wearing jersey number 9 has been in 23 games up to this point, batting .375 with 77 plate appearances, and that's going to be a curveball, swing and a miss for strike number 2. Holguin with 16 runs also scored this year and has 6 doubles, so that's a pretty dangerous hitter for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. The count is 0-2. Let's see what happens here with this pitch. That one's going to be fouled back to the left side, and the count will remain 0-2. If you're just now tuning in to Lady Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com, the Lovington Lady Wildcats with the lead, 3-2. The count is 0-2 with 1 out, and that's going to be hit hard to the left side, and that's going to be fouled, so the count will remain 0-2 with 1 out. Once again, the Lady Wildcats with runners at the corners. Number 9, Holguin at first base, Morales at third base, wearing jersey number 4. The Lady Rockets wearing all white this evening with blue socks. As for the Lovington Wildcats, a blue jersey with white trousers, blue socks. The hitter is Ellis as she awaits the pitch. And that one's going to be hit hard, smash to the left side. And one bouncer, and it looks like it will be a ground rule double. So now Morales will score. And, of course, Holguin will be held up at third base due to the ground rule double. So we'll get that ruled there as a ground rule double over Morales' head. But the score now will be 4-2. And Holguin will be held up at third base. And now coming up to the plate will be number 16 will be Ariana Garcia, the third baseman. Yaya is currently 0 for 1. She hit a ground ball, reached on an error, and then sacrifice bunt. And the runner at second will be Ellis, and the runner at third base will be Holguin. And there's going to be a quick timeout as the umpire says, give me a second, just a minute, let me get some balls here. Ariana Garcia, the infielder, playing third base here in game 1. The pitcher is Gallegos. For Goddard, there is the pitch, and that's going to be upstairs. So 1 ball. And no strike count with 1 out. Lovington threatening with runners at second and third base. There's going to be the pitch by Gallegos, and that will be ball downstairs. So 2 balls and no strikes with an out to the dangerous hitter, Yaya Garcia. Garcia hitting .231 with 2 home runs on the year. Awaits the pitch, and there is the pitch. And that one's going to be fouled back to the left side. And that will be strike number 1. So 2 balls and a strike with 1 out. The score is 4-2. We're here in the top half of the 5th inning in favor of the Lovington Lady Wildcats. Defensively for the Lady Rockets is Serrano, Hernandez, Campa, and Palma Garcia in the infield, while Morales, Gonzalez, and De La Rosa in the outfield. Awaits the pitch now by Gallegos, and that's going to be upstairs for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike with an out. Scores 4-2 here in the top half of the 5th inning. Here in this district match, this is the first game of 2 for the Lady Rockets. Ellis at second base, Holguin at third base, and there is the pitch now, and that one's going to be smashed up the middle. And let's see what McCraw will do here. It's going to be a 2-run single for Garcia, and that was hit hard. So we're going to call that a line drive up the middle, so it'll be a 2-run RBI single. And now Lovington taking care of business here in the top half of the 5th inning. And now coming up to the plate will be number 23. Number 23 is going to be Jana Ochoa, who is 0 for 2 in this contest. Struck out swinging on her first frame and then flew out to the shortstop. And now awaits her third attempt here. It's going to be ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes with an out. The score is 6-2 in favor of the Lovington Lady Wildcats. Garcia, number 16, at first base, smashes the ball, gets a 2-run single. And now the pitch from Gallegos is going to be another ball. So 2 balls and no strikes with an out as Crawford snap throws over to Palma Garcia, tries to get Garcia, and number 16 Garcia will be safe at first base. Palma Garcia plays for Goddard. Garcia is the runner. That's going to be a swing and a miss for Ochoa. That's going to be 2 balls and a strike with 1 out. And as we mentioned earlier, the error earlier, well, we were wondering if that was going to haunt the Lady Rockets. There's going to be the pitch, and that's going to be upstairs for ball number 3. 3 balls and a strike. Looking at the defense for the Lady Rockets here, playing regular depth here. Surprised that the Lady Rockets are down by 4, not playing any kind of a double play depth of any sort, playing regular depth. You have the infield for the Lady Rockets. As far as the corners are concerned, you have Palma Garcia and also Serrano in front of the bags. The count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that's going to be smashed to the left side. And that's going to be a fair ball, and that's going to be a single and a nice wrap. And real surprised with the corners playing as up as they were. I probably would have been playing back with 2 strikes. But now coming up to the plate will be number 10, will be Malia Castro. Malia Castro batting .250 on the year with 7 hits, facing Gallegos. And let's see if Manzanares will have somebody in the bullpen for the Lady Rockets, and it looks like she does. There's going to be the pitch, and that's going to be ball downstairs. Let's check that out. They're going to reverse that, and they're going to call it a strike. So that will be a called strike to the hitter, Castro. There's going to be the pitch again, and that's going to be downstairs. I'm going to wait for this. They're going to call that a ball. All right, so Crawford snaps, throws over to Palma Garcia. I'm real surprised that Garcia, the runner at number 16 at second base, didn't advance because the throw is behind the runner, but did not advance. All right, this is crazy here. But anyway, there's going to be a ground ball hit between the 5-6 hole. That will be a base hit, and McCraw will hold all runners, and now the bases are loaded for the Lovington Lady Wildcats. All right, so now coming up will be number 21 for Lovington. That's going to be Bailey Garcia. Bailey Garcia batting .170 on the year. She does have 6 hits, but does have 1 home run on the year. Bases are loaded for Lovington. You have number 16 Garcia at third base, Ochoa at second, and Castro at first base. There's the pitch, and that one's going to be an infield fly rule. Runners could advance at their own risk, but that will be out number 2. All right, so there can be 2 down as Palma Garcia will get credit for the putout. And now will be number 15. It will be Annabelle Garcia. Annabelle Garcia, who is 1 for 2, grounded out into a fielder's choice, been singled up the middle. And that one's going to be popped up to the pitcher. And that's going to be out number 3 as Gallegos makes the play. All right, so middle part of the 5th inning, Lovington, 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 errors, 32 pitches for Gallegos. Coming up for the Goddard Rockets, Lady Rocks, that is going to be Morales, Campa, and Gonzalez. We'll be right back. Lady Rockets Softball, KSVPTV.com.
Attention Roswell Coyote fans. Do you love your car? Well, Roswell Hyundai wants to help you keep your current car with a lower payment. Introducing Refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai wants to help you refinance your current vehicle with rebates and discounts to lower your payment. If you're ready to upgrade, Roswell Hyundai has a fresh inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. With special financing available, Hyundai can help regardless of your credit with I-10 accepted. Don't forget, all new Hyundais come with a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty and 2 years of free oil changes. So upgrade your ride or refi with Hyundai. Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd, a proud supporter of Roswell Coyote Sports.
Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. And of course, we're talking about geraniums, along with petunias and lantanas. We raise them in our greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. And while we may disagree on what to call them, there's no doubt they're the prettiest.
All right, welcome back to Lady Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com. Morales, Campa, and Gonzalez coming up to the plate for the Lady Rockets. Number 4, Jayla Morales, who is 0 for 1 in the contest, flew out to the first baseman. And the pitcher still will be, number 5 will be Sabri Sanchez for the Lady Wildcats. Sabri Sanchez doing her job on the bump, or I should say the circle. Pitching a .287, currently ERA of .287. And now there is the pitch, and that one's going to be inside for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes with no outs. The Lady Rockets trail 6-2. We're here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. This is the first game of a doubleheader. Sabri Sanchez will deliver, and that's going to be a called strike. So everything will be even. 1 ball, 1 strike with no outs. In the infield for Lovington is Garcia at third base, Corral at shortstop, Ruiz at second, and Holguin at first base. There's going to be the changeup as Morales struggles with it. That will be strike number 2. All right, so the infield in for the Lady Rockets as Morales, known for her speed. That's going to be a pitch outside for ball 2. Batting from the left side. Looking at the outfield, looks like Garcia, number 21, playing shallow, and then about even at center field for Ellis, and then Castro playing midfield in the outfield. All right, there's going to be the pitch by Sanchez, and that's going to be a base hit between first and second base, and Morales will get on. All right, now coming up to the plate for Goddard will be number 24. That's going to be Lindsay Campa. Lindsay Campa currently batting .403. Another dangerous hitter will get a base hit as that's hit to shallow center field. The first pitch and a base hit, so that's going to be a nice job for the hitter Campa. So now Goddard with runners at first and second base. Coming up to the plate now will be number 7. It will be Kiana Gonzalez. Gonzalez batting .407 on the year, and there's going to be the pitch, and that's going to be a called strike. All right, so 0-1 with no outs. Score 6-2, KSVPTV.com. Lady Rocket Softball. Art Sandoval flying solo. And everything is now even at 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs, and Goddard with runners at first and second base. R1, R2, and there's going to be the pitch, and now that's going to be a curveball away for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Campa at first base, Morales at second. All right, so nobody out here in this first game of a doubleheader, and your hitter is Gonzalez. Sanchez, the pitcher for Lovington, pitches, and that one's going to be foul. It's going to be off the left shin of Gonzalez. So now make it 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 strikes with no outs. Lady Rockets back as they trail 6-2 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. There's the pitch, and that one's going to be upstairs, swing and a miss. And that's going to be the first out now for the Lady Rockets. So now coming up to the plate will be number 14. That's going to be Marisol Hernandez. Marisol Hernandez batting .397 on the year with 81 plate appearances. She does have 3 home runs. Check. We're going to go 2 home runs according to Max Preps, 2 triples with 5 doubles. And that's going to be ball 1 to the hitter Hernandez. So 1 ball, no strikes with an out. You have runners at first and second base for the Lady Rockets. The pitcher is Sanchez. As she delivers, that's going to be hit high, and let's see if the shortstop, Corral, will have it, and she does. That's going to be considered an infield fly rule, and the runners can advance at their own risk. That will be out number 2. So the fly out to Corral. She will get the credit for the put out. All right, so now 2 outs for the Lovington Lady Wildcats, and now the hitter will be number 10. That will be Roxana Serrano. And that's going to be hit hard to the left side, but just foul. All right, Serrano batting .452 on the year. And I'm looking at the stats for the Lady Rockets here. Currently batting on the season .329 as a team, with 687 plate appearances, 601 at-bats. The Lady Rockets 162 runs scored this year and 198 hits with 129 RBIs. And that one's going to be smashed. And just like that, the shortstop, Corral, will get credit for the putout. Let's roll out of here on game changer on the line drive. And the batter will be out for out number 3. And now at the end of 5, Goddard, no runs on 2 hits, no errors on 15 pitches. And coming out for Lovington will be Morales, Sanchez, and Holguin. But we're going to stay right here. We're going to talk a little bit about the seating and selection committee, because the Lady Rockets more than likely will qualify for the state tournament, as they are currently 3rd in the district. But like as I mentioned earlier, the overall record for Goddard is 14-10 on the year, currently ranked 5th in the 4A classification. Now, for the seating and selection committee that will take place this Sunday, the New Mexico Activity Association staff will seed and select teams for the 24-25 state championships utilizing the following criteria in the New Mexico Activity Association Bylaw 7.11 as voted on by the Board of Directors. The 6 criteria are as follows. Finish in regular season district play. 2 will be head-to-head, and then, of course, wins against district champions regardless of the classification. And then, of course, overall record, and then the max preps rankings, and then the member school input is going to have to be submitted by the head coach, and that will be on Sunday. Okay, so note, in the event of a tie of criteria points, head-to-head will be using the break of the tie. If there is no head-to-head competition or head-to-head competition is tied, then the max prep strength of schedule will be used to break the tie. And that is voted on by the Board of Directors, 7.11.3. The Board of Directors from the New Mexico Activity Association. All right, as we begin the top half of the 6th inning now, and that's going to be smashed over to the left side, but Morales should have it and does, so that'll be 1 pitch and 1 out. And good job by Jayla Morales for out number 1. Now coming up to the plate will be number 5, Sabri Sanchez. The state tournament now will start Wednesday, May 14th, and I'm just reading this from the New Mexico Activity Association at Los Altos Softball Park. That is for the single AA and, of course, AAA. It's going to be elimination and winner's bracket games. Then on Thursday, we'll also be at Los Altos Softball Complex, and the quarterfinals and semifinals will also be played at the same location. And then on Friday will be the state championships. It will be at UNM Softball Complex. You can go to the Mexico and you can see the top 25. We can go over those here in just a moment, but there's going to be the pitch right now, and that's going to be a ball. 1 ball, no strikes with an out. As we mentioned earlier, in District 4A, the Artesia Bulldogs currently with the lead, or in the lead, with the 6-1 record, followed by Lovington 4-2, Goddard with 3-4 record, and then Portales with an 0-6 record in district play. So that's going to be strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes. And here comes Sanchez, who is 0 for 3, and that one's going to be fouled back, so the count will remain 0-2 with 1 out. Gallego still pitching for Goddard. There was some activity in the bullpen earlier. Looks like it has paused for just a second. No, there is activity still going on in the bullpen. There are some guidelines that you also want to take a look at. There's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 1. So good job for Gallegos, or by Gallegos. And if you, as I mentioned earlier, you go to the New Mexico Activity Association, the 2025 state softball host site guidelines are in the website. It's something that everybody should read. They're talking about events, hosting responsibilities, and game admissions. That's going to be ball 1 to the hitter. Holguin, who is 1 for 2 we won't go over those softball guidelines just yet. We'll continue with the broadcast, and here in just a moment we'll talk about that along with some of the tiebreakers, along with some of the coaching packets and tournament personnel, and, of course, the team limit and entry that we'll have. That's going to be a pop-up over to the shortstop. Good play by the shortstop Hernandez for out number 2. Excuse me, out number 3. All right, so at the middle of the 6th, Lovington, no runs on no hits, no errors on 7 pitches for the pitcher Gallegos. Coming up for Goddard will be Gallegos, Palma, Garcia, and Crawford. We'll be right back, ladies. Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com.
Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. And of course, we're talking about geraniums, along with petunias and lantanas. We raise them in our greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. And while we may disagree on what to call them, there's no doubt they're the prettiest flowers anywhere. So come get yours while the selection is best. But you're going to have to pick them out yourself because I'm colorblind.
Do you know what the hardest part of dealing with the roofer is? Just trying to get them on the phone. Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that you can always trust Trustmark Roofing to answer our phone. Need a free roof inspection? Just call us at 575.
All right, welcome back to KSVPTV.com. Lady Rocket Softball. We're here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Coming up for Goddard will be Gallegos, Palma, Garcia, and Crawford. All right, so Sanchez with 81 pitches. She has pitched 5 complete innings up to this point. The hitter will be number 9, Juliet Gallegos, who is 0 for 2. She had a strikeout looking and then lined out to center. And there's going to be a pop-up, and that's going to be out number 1.
Jocelyn over, and Hernandez flashes the letter, and 1 pitch, 1 out. You like that efficiency.
All right, so now coming up to the plate will be number 1, Adriana Palma Garcia. She is 1 for 2 in this contest. She has single on a line drive to the right gap and then struck out swinging, and that, my friends, is going to be ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, and the batting average for Palma Garcia is 185 with 6 RBIs. 10 runs scored this year, and that one's going to be in play. And Garcia over to Holguin for the putout. And I'm going to tell you what, if I was Manzanares, I think I would have questioned that. I thought it looked like he was, but they're going to say that it's going to be a 5-3 putout. And so she needs a question, and they need to appeal that. Okay, there is going to be a timeout on the field, and now they're going to have discussion.
I'm going to say for me it looked like Yaya got it in fair territory, which would make it a fair ball.
So it looks like, and let me give you the scenario here. Okay, so they're going to say it's an out. To me, if you want to go back and look at an instant replay, you can go to KSVPTV.com. I'm going to tell you right now, it looked like it was off the foot of the Goddard Rockets, but they're saying it was in play, which I agree with. But if it was off the foot, then it's a dead ball. But they're not going to say that. They're going to say it was in play, so it's going to be a 5-3 putout. So Garcia over to Holguin for out number 2. So now coming up to the plate will be number 30. It will be Marissa Crawford. And that's going to be fouled back to the fence. So nothing, and 1 with 2 outs. The score is 6-2. We are here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. This is the first game of the doubleheader for the Lady Rockets. All right, there's the pitch, and that one's going to be smashed over the left side. Nice. Well, let's see. The backhand, I thought it was going to be a nice backhand, but we're going to call that an error. It did hit a glove. No, they're going to call it a single. We'll call it a single. I'll go with my colleague here. All right. Well, they're going to say it an infield single. I am going to disagree with that on the backhand, but we'll call it a single for the Lady Rockets. That's Going to be good for Goddard and for Crawford. And now the hitter will be number 2. Will be De La Rosa, who is 0 for 2. The backhand was hit the glove, and I'm going to just leave it at that. De La Rosa 0 for 2 in this contest. And there's going to be the pitch, and that's going to be ball outside. Well, they're going to call that strike 1. All right, so 0-1 with 2 outs. The Lady Rockets trail 6-2. And there's going to be the pitch, and I'm going to wait on that. They're going to call that a ball this time. So 1 ball, 1 strike. All right, so Crawford, the Lady Rocket at first base on the base hit. That's going to be foul for strike number 2. All right, so 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs as Crawford will trot back over to first base, and De La Rosa will be set to hit. She awaits the pitch from Sanchez. There is going to be the pitch, and that one's going to be upstairs, and that's going to be fouled back again, so the count will remain even. All right, with 2 outs, you got your corners. I'm not sure why, but they're above. There's going to be the changeup, and that's going to be upstairs and away for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You got the corners now about even. And there's the pitch, and that one's going to be smashed over into the field, and that's going to be a base hit. All right, so back-to-back singles now for the Lady Rockets. Coming up now will be number 4, Jayla Morales, who is 1 for 2 in this contest. She flew out to the first baseman and then singled on a ground ball in between first and second base. And that's going to be up and away for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs, and Jayla Morales on her last frame got a base hit, trying to get her Goddard Rockets back in this ball game. That's going to be hit, and that's going to be foul. So 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs. Morales with a closed stance with a lot of speed from the left side. Let's see, she just wants to slap it in between the first and second baseman, but they're going to call that inside for a ball. So ball 2, 1 strike with 2 outs. All right, so Goddard with runners at first and second base. Sanchez with the pitch, and that's going to be a called strike on the outside half. So 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. All right, now Morales waits the pitch here, and that's going to be, thought it was a foul ball, but they're going to say swing and a miss for strike 3. And so now at the end of 6, Goddard with no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 16 pitches for Sanchez. Coming up for Lovington will be Alice Garcia and Ochoa. We'll be right back. Lady Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com. When managing a chronic illness,
Welcome back to Lady Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com, and also on YouTube. The score is 6-2 as we begin the top half of the 7th inning. Coming up for Lovington will be Ellis, Garcia, and Ochoa. The pitcher for the Lady Rockets will be number 9, still Juliet Garcia, with 71 total pitches, 6 complete innings up to this point. The hitter is going to be number 6. It will be Ellis, who is 2 for 3 in this contest. She actually flew out to the second baseman and then got a single between the 5-6 hole and then a double off the left field wall. And it's going to be 1 ball and no strikes. Race the pitch from Gallegos, and that's going to be fouled back, and that's going to be strike number 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike with no outs. The score 6-2 in favor of the Lady Wildcats from Lovington, New Mexico, facing the Lady Rockets. We mentioned earlier Ellis 2 for 3, hit one off the fence on the last at bat. Let's see if they go here again, and that one's going to be smashed again between the 5-6 hole, and that will be ruled a single. So I want to make sure that the listeners here, it is KSVPTV.com and YouTube. Anything else? And it's going to be on the website, KSVPTV.com website. Okay, now we're back in action. 6-2 is the score here, top half of the 7th inning in favor of the Lady Wildcats. Now coming up to the plate will be number 16. It will be Ariana Garcia. Ariana Garcia hit a ground ball, and there's going to be a runner in motion. And it looks like Ellis will be caught stealing, so good throw from Crawford over to Hernandez for out number 1. So nice job by Crawford. And that's going to be strike 1. So 0-1 with 1 out. And as we mentioned earlier, the hitter is Ariana Garcia. Ariana Garcia currently batting .231 on the year with 2 home runs. She does have 17 RBIs with 57 plate appearances and 52 at-bats with 4 runs scored on the year. So Garcia facing Gallegos. Gallegos with 75 pitches, 6 1/3 innings pitched. That one's be ball upstairs. So 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. As we were talking earlier, we'll talk about the criteria again here in just a moment for the listeners that are just now tuning in to KSVPTV.com. That one's going to be smashed over to the left side, and let's see if Morales has a chance. And just like that, Morales at the warning track will make the play for out number 2. So nice job by Morales. And now that is going to be 2 down for Goddard. And now coming up for Lovington will be number 23. That will be Jana Ochoa. Ochoa, who is 1 for 3 in this contest, struck out looking one time, flew out to the shortstop, and then she singled on a line drive to the left gap. All right, so the first pitch to Ochoa will be ball. So 1 ball, no strikes with 2 outs. The score is 6-2 in favor of the Lovington Lady Wildcats. We are here at the field of the Lady Rockets, the campus of Goddard High School. The pitcher is Gallegos, wearing jersey number 9. Crawford, the catcher. That's going to be hit to the left side again. Could be trouble, but Morales, the speed demon, will catch that, and that will be out number 3. So at the middle part of the 7th inning, Lovington, no runs on 1 hit, no errors. 8 pitches for Gallegos. Coming up for Goddard will be Campo Gonzalez and Hernandez. We're going to be right back. You're listening to Lady Rocket Softball, KSVPTV.com.
Access to the right treatments makes all the difference. Artesia General Hospital's Infusion Center provides IV therapy and biologic treatments, so you don't have to travel far for care. Expert infusion therapy right here in Artesia. Call 575-736-8256 today to learn more. Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736.
All right, welcome back to KSVPTV.com. Lady Rocket Softball. We are here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. Coming up for Goddard will be Campo Gonzalez and Hernandez. The score is 6-2 if you're just now tuning in at KSVPTV.com YouTube also. And here it is. Now it's going to be Campo, who is 2 for 3 this evening. She did hit on the ground ball that reached on an error by the third baseman, then singled the fly ball to the right side, and then, of course, to center field. So she is 2 for 3. And there's going to be hit to the left side, and they're going to rule out an error. So that's going to be a fly ball. And it's going to be an error on Garcia. All right, so now the hitter will be number 7, will be Kiana Gonzalez. Kiana Gonzalez batting .407, another dangerous hitter, as we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, with 1 home run on the year. She does have a triple, and also she has 2 doubles this year. She did attempt to bunt. You're down 6-2, and you have a runner at first base, and it looks like Gonzalez is asked to bunt. Not sure if that's what we need to do here, but she's listening to her coach at this point here. So, okay, so 0-1. And there's going to be a bunt, and that one's going to be a 5-3 put out and 1 out. But the Lady Rockets still down by 4. Okay. So we'll get that. Batter will be out. And so now it will be Campa over at second base. The hitter will be number 14, Hernandez. Marisol Hernandez is currently 1 for 3. Grounded out twice, and then also got a single up the middle. And there's going to be a fly ball over to the shortstop, and Corral will have it. That will be out number 2. All right, so now Goddard trying to stay alive here with 2 outs. Coming up to bat for Goddard will be number 10. That will be Roxana Serrano, who is batting .452 on the year. Trying to keep the Lady Rockets alive here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, and there's going to be another pop-up to Leslie Corral, and that is going to be the ball game here for the Lady Rockets. Let's see if we can get this scored off here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll go over the first half statistics. KSVPTV.com, Lady Rocket Softball.
Good afternoon. I'm Steven, Uncle Savings View Seal, and welcome to Roswell Hyundai. Listen, today we've got wonderful vehicles out here for sale, and listen, let me tell you something. If you find this golf ball sitting in any Palisade during your test drive this weekend, we're giving away $25 million in cash.
No, I told you we can't do that.
No, then I don't understand we're making this video then.
I told you we can't do that.
Mind.
Hey guys, Aaron Dishman, your general sales manager down here at Roswell Ford. Did you know that Ford Motor Company employs more American workers than any other manufacturer in the United States? Did you also know that Ford Motor Company has the largest manufacturing footprint in the U.S.? That's right, guys. That's why during the month of April, we're going to reconfirm our commitment to you with employee pricing for all. That's right. You pay what we pay. Down here at Roswell Ford, we have hundreds of vehicles to choose from, and we want to put them in your driveway. Come see us today at 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, New Mexico, or call us at 623-3673. Don't forget to ask for the guy in the tie. Can't wait till you get here.
Some wounds need expert care to heal properly. At Artesia General Hospital's Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine Center, we use advanced treatments like hyperbaric oxygen therapy to help chronic wounds heal faster. If you or a loved one has a wound that won't heal, call 575-736-8235 today and take the first step toward recovery.
Welcome back to KSVPTV.com. Lady Rocket softball as the Lady Rockets fall game 1, 6-2. And just real quick, the winning pitcher for Lovington will be Sabri Sanchez, who pitched a complete game with only allowing 8 hits with 2 runs, one of those being earned, and no base on balls with 8 strikeouts. As for the Goddard Lady Rockets, it will be Gallegos that will suffer the loss and allowed 10 hits along with 6 runs, 5 of those being earned, and then allowed 1 base on ball with 4 strikeouts, no home runs. As for the Lady Wildcats, some of the big hitters for the Lady Wildcats were number 6. It was Ellis, who was 2 for 3. Actually, she was 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored. And then, of course, number 10 is Malia Castro, who was 2 for 3. And then, of course, combined at-bats for the Lovington Wildcats was 31 with 6 runs scored, 10 total hits with 5 RBIs, only 1 base on balls with 4 strikeouts. And for the Goddard Lady Rockets, there was 2 for 4 for Campa, and 1 for 4 for Hernandez. And then for Palma was 1 for 3, and then for Crawford 1 for 3. And then total at-bats for the Lady Rockets was 31 total at-bats, and only 2 runs scored, and 8 total hits with 1 RBI with 8 strikeouts. Lady Rockets now fall in district play now 3-5 on the year, and now we'll drop. We'll be right back.